case? Okay. Yeah, preferential enforcement, definitely. I mean, here's the thing, right? And like a lot of my friends know this. Like, to be totally honest with the way that
I'm almost Cracker Barrel.
What I do with the N-word. Okay, I'm gonna just like, nobody probably would ever say this, but I will say this. If I'm speaking to somebody in a private setting and I'm referring to what somebody said, I will just simply use the word in a private setting. But I never use the word outside of quoting what another person says. I just don't. Yeah, that's really about it. And I say it daily. It's like our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy, yeah, of course, right? And everyone does that. Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of people do things for sure. But yeah, use that the hearty R. Yeah. I mean, if somebody says that word, I'd just repeat the word. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think that's really a bad thing. I read Huckleberry Finn in high school, and everybody read it aloud, and it was like, miss, it's okay, say it. Looks around, makes eye contact with every black person in the classroom.
I didn't read it. We didn't read it.
I mean, like, I can't be the only one that had that experience, right?
I didn't.
I can't be. I feel like a lot of people had that same experience. No shot, right? I mean, like, that's what it was. Happened to me. Same, bro. Yes, we had it too. Absolutely. No blacks in my school growing up, bro. There were more black people than there were white people in my school, okay? Like, we were the real minority. And we were both minorities because it was full of Mexicans. It was full of fucking Hispanics. And so, like, really, like, white people were like, we were like third tier, okay? So, that's just the way it was. That's the way I grew up. And it was a different place then. Honestly, I wish I could go back.
Atmore was like 50-50. Well, no, it's got to be like 45, 10.
The proper way to say it. Yeah, definitely. I gave my friends the nod to say it.
Indian, Creek American Indian.
Oh yeah, it's just you graduated in 2010. You barely made it out. Yeah, definitely. And rip it, bro. And so anyway, I feel like that's the way I've always done it, right? Is that like, but I don't know really why, but I just don't really say it in like a derogatory way, right? I just
look at me like I'm crazy.
Really, like, I mean, I'm sure I have in the past, right? Like, I'm sure at some point I've made a joke or something like that.
All the shady spots are taken.
I just don't really use the word. That's not really. I used to always. Honestly, that's not even true, because my dad would always get mad at me for using the N-word. This is like an ironic thing. He would always really get mad at me for using the N-word. He's like, well, I don't want you to use this word because, like, I grew up pre-civil rights and.
What happened? Rumble ain't working, so, and Twitch doesn't pause automatically, so I'm gonna miss parts of it. What happened? My phone's too hot too. Sitting on the dash. I'm gonna see if there's a shady spot at Sunny. It's probably not. It's 2 o'clock on Saturday. The phone's so hot it won't load. I think Twitch uses more battery power too. Well, shoot, I can't clock in. It's not busy. I'm not platinum anymore. I can't do it for $2 though. I can't do $2 deliveries. That's why I'm down below. If you go below 70%, I think it kicks you out of platinum. cash tip every time. I can't. A gallon of gas is $4. Almost. So I guess we're. Alright. I'm in. Let me in. Show you my cards. I had some cards made so I can give them out and show people my channel. Oh, it's backwards. Well, that's aggravating. Oh well. Anyway, that's my backwards channel. I wonder how. I don't know how to flip it around. I'll have to check it later after I get it uploaded. I'll put it on my TV and see if the QR code works in reverse. Because surely. Yeah. That's funny. Shit. That's alright. I had to do some other thing. It's okay. It's not for y'all anyway. Sometimes they want to leave me a tip and they can't. Like usually when I mess up, like I forget something, I grab the wrong order, I take that opportunity to add them, tell them, hey, I made a mistake. Add me to your YouTube.
$11.70 offer with 2 pickups. Culver's Butter Burgers and Frozen Custard and Olgie's Food Truck 8.2 miles.
Oh,
28
please.
minutes total.
I don't want to go that up there. It's just, it's hard to get. Wait, it's Saturday. 18 seconds. It's Saturday, so traffic's not bad. That's alright. I'm here for Cracker Barrel.
This offer timed out and was declined. Looking for your next one.
Cracker Barrel, Sonny's, Ruby Tuesday, or Garden Bar, whatever. I heard it. Garden Bar, American something. 2 out of 3. Only 1 out of 3 times does it say Ruby. Well, no. 1 out of 10 times does it say Ruby Tuesdays. 3 more times it'll say Garden Bar, and then 3 more times it'll say. What does it say? I can't remember what it says. And then another 3 times it says something else. It's never. It's never Ruby Tuesday. Not never, but you know what I mean. Anyway. Let's see. Is it ridiculous out there? I gotta pee. I left the middle blank so I could write on them. Oh yeah. Throw that away. What's that, sewing machine? Oh no, you can't see it. The little white thing right there. Yeah. It's a sewing machine. It's heavy. Yeah, no, I need a new bag. I need one of these. They're $10. I'll get one eventually. I do pretty good with this one bag, though. It's done me very well. And I'll need to know. I don't know where to find one. I went on the internet, and the only ones I find are like this big. I can't find that one. I need that one. Because it's got the bucket inside. Technically, I need it. That one's perfect for McDonald's bags and a lot of bags, but what's that restaurant over there? Chili's, their bag is a little bit bigger. Cracker Barrel, when they order more than 2 plates, those bags are too big. Sonny's, when they order more than 3 plates, those bags are too, because they got a wide. They got bags where you can stick two in together. I found one the other day, but it was, I think it was $90 at Academy Sports and Outdoors. DoorDash has one on their website. It's $77. It's pretty cool. It's got all kind of zip ups and fold ups and fold ins and flaps. It'll be good for the bigger ones. But I want one of those. That thing does great. I couldn't have asked for more out of that thing. It's mirrored. That's what I meant to say. Mirrored. I should have made them clear. If it was clear, I could hold it up like that. How much would that cost? That's probably $100 by itself. Let's see.
$5.10 offer. Pick up at Chipotle Mexican Grill 9.2 miles. 20 minutes total. Offer declined. Looking for your next one.
I gotta pee. I'm gonna go to Wawa and pee. Pause. Do I need water in this thing? Something bubbling. So it's usually slow. Between 2 and 3, slow. Maybe 3, 4. Sure, I could take the other orders. Sure, but I try to stick to my 4 little restaurants. Usually I do pretty good. 80, $100 before gas. I'll buy something later. I'll get my gas here.
Intercept him.
It is stalking. It is organized harassment. It's organized stalking and organized harassment. No other content creator has done anything of this sort to another content creator.
It's the worst
If I
of
could
all.
use like this to Asmik, you guys would fucking call me out.
Asmongold doesn't leave his house. What does that even mean? Also, Hassan all the time says like, "Oh, you should go out. You should go out to these events. You should go to these events." Like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
100%. Like, can you imagine if I was like, someone needs to keep track of Asmongold at all times?
Yeah, we do. It's called his house. He's at his house at all times. Like, fuck you.
Did I miss? Has he talked about how?
And put it on a website? Or if I had said something like, oh, Asmongold deserves to be, X, but I'm not going to say it. I don't even want
Like you do with politicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I guess maybe if I run for office, you'll say that, right?
He gets up private jet, if there's a jet driver.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Did he say I said that about you?
If I had said something like, oh, Asmongold deserves to be, X, but I'm not going to say it. I don't even want
Like you do with politicians.
That's what Destiny said about me.
That's what Destiny said about me. I don't know about that.
If there's a jet driver.
Oh, no, not the jet tracker. He's gonna lose it.
And this is, of course, like,
By the way, I am anti-jet tracker. I'm anti-jet tracker. I think that very clearly it's being used as for people that want to, track where you are, your real-time locations. I'm against it. I don't like it. What's a jet tracker? So there are these things called jets, and trackers are things that keep track of things. And so a jet tracker keeps track of jets.
last 7 years, right? Who sniped this Reddit account? How sweaty is this lobby? This is the sweatiest of all lobbies.
Really?
Gamer Talks is a gamer, right? So yeah, he's not.
He's absolutely.
Yeah, bro. They said a fan asked him. Turns out he's his biggest fan.
I've never heard Hassan talk about playing a video game. Which is kind of crazy. Like, I've never heard him talk about playing a single video game ever. Like, the only one, the thing is, he played all of the From Software
I think it's
games,
funny that he
and
made it
he and
on
I
the-
had conversations
they
about
made
this.
it
We
to
played
the
a lot of
news,
games that
cable
we
TV.
talked about. And, like, that was the last time I
Not
think
for
he
good
played any
things.
video game. That was it. Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah, but he played that for like an hour and he never played it again, right? So that was about it. Played Among Us, that doesn't get, I mean, a real
He's like, nah, I'm my biggest fan, dog. It wasn't a lie when I said a fan wanted me to ask this question as a moderator. It's just so funny to be like, hey, man. some insane conservative.
Yeah.
They'll probably take the Destiny agreement with Rittenhouse verdict. Oh, long-term fan,
Mm-hmm.
Hey Hassan, long-term
Yes.
fan. A friend of mine wanted to hear what your takes on the Houthis are.
Holy shit. Bro, I am so fucking retarded. You're absolutely right. I need my retard chatters to think of these questions. A better question, you should just ask Hassan just the most increasingly ridiculous questions just to see like how far he'll push it.
Yeah.
Somebody should ask Hassan in an interview, what do you think is worse? U.S. historical chattel slavery or the conditions in Gaza? I bet you struggle to answer. 100%. You would never say it.
Turns out you don't
U.S.
have
slavery, man.
issues
I don't
with
know.
people who predate on children.
I feel like slavery's like a million times worse, right? Yeah, oh my gosh, surely it's say Gaza. It's literally like it's a question where it's like, that's like a when did you stop beating your wife question. Right? It's like, okay, guys, you know, have you come out as gay yet? Oh, Jesus Christ. There's no way you can answer the question without being very, very, very wrong. You find a way to deflect costs on top of 100%? I know, right? And, Jesus, man. People still listen to that bullshit? I don't even know what to say. Stop? We were supposed to stop? I don't know. Wait, this is Ukraine? Like, oh my god, we gotta keep up with more of this Ukraine war shit. I haven't looked at any of this. I should do like a recap on this once a week. I'm a big supporter of Ukraine. I've said that before. I'm a huge supporter of Ukraine, and so, you know, I don't hate Russia either, but I think that Russia is engaged in a war of aggression against Ukraine. I think they need to get the fuck out of Ukraine. Is AI? Thank you. The ripples will be deposited into your account immediately. It has to be AI? No, this is the ghost of Kiev. What do you mean? Did I see? So, let me see if I can find this video. Like, there was a guy that said he was playing in Ukraine. He was playing CSGO in Ukraine. And he got in a shit-talking match with a guy in the army, and the guy in the army said he was going to recruit him to Ukraine, to the military, and then the day after that, apparently there was a knock on his door, and he went to the military. I don't know if I can find this clip, but it was really, really fucking funny. There's no way I wasn't able to find it. If one of my mods can find this, it was fucking hilarious. I might not be able to. Do you ever show when Russia strikes Ukraine back? Yeah, of course I do. I've showed a lot of stuff about it. I've tried to keep up with it as much as I could. I mean, obviously, when the war started, I wasn't really involved with that kind of content. So, you know, I didn't really talk about it then. But, yeah, I still raise money for them and everything. I think it was a, of what? Sorry, I didn't hear this. So, let me just scroll down, and I'll see if I can find it myself. Usually I can find these things myself, but I might not be able to. I really, honestly, you passed it? Okay, all right, let me go up.
Stay until 3:30.
This game really was generational. It is generational. People said I passed it. Let me scroll down. I'm going to go more slowly. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm looking for it. I don't be seeing it. I don't be seeing it, boys. I don't know, you guys are lying, I think. I'm pretty sure you guys are lying to me. Keep going, it's way up. There's no way I missed it. Like, where is it? No, that's not it at all. Like, goddamn, like, I really don't know if that was it or not. I feel like a fucking idiot if I missed it like that. You did? I mean, damn, I guess maybe so, but I'm not gonna spend an hour looking for this shit, okay? And it's fiction. Oh, no, it's too bad. It's fictional. God damn it. Oh, bro, like, I don't speak Ukrainian.
so I just assumed that it was true. That's too bad. I'm glad that you have community notes. Okay, that was bullshit. I had wanted it to be true, and that's the reason why I went to check the video. I was like, there's no way.
No, I know, guys. It's really funny though. And Ghost of Kiev is fake as fuck. I mean, I guess, but this is actually insane. Like, I really. How does this keep going on? I mean, these clips are just insane. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, how many of these are there? Oh my God. Look at this. You barely even need to change it. Honestly, that's crazy, right? You barely even need to change that shit. It's haunting? No, I remember Paul Tassi. Paul Tassi was the one that made that connection first, okay? He was the one that invented that. And I don't know if there was any more recent looking at cases. I don't depend on I don't know. I have no idea, really. I try to avoid, I mean, I don't know if I'm even bullshit, right? Like, I do. I try to avoid as much of that as possible. But, yeah, this is just really fucking funny to see all these people talking about it and their opinions and everything like that. You're sad? I guess so. I mean, yeah. And, yeah, Tecton's also farming. He's been going pretty hard on it.
Is it better when the sun gets lower in the sky?
Let me go back.
When the
I'll just
sun's
look at some of
straight
the
up
other
and down
stuff
in the
too.
sky,
But this is also like
These
something
aren't as
crazy
dark
came out
as
before
those.
you went live, and I mean crazy. Okay, all right. Let me watch this one first. Then, okay. What are you doing? What are you doing with the bread? Put the bread back. Put the bread. No. Put it back. Put it back. You didn't pay for that. You didn't pay for. You didn't. Hey. Hey. What's he doing? Stealing menus?
Go back. That took a while. Directions. Go. On my way. Alright. It's Saturday. Cracker Barrel. Damn it. I'm already an hour in.
Like a cross or something in a church so a vampire can't get in. And stupid. Everything about this is retarded, okay? And so anyway, does that even work though? I have no idea if it works. I have no clue at all. So yeah,
Probably
this
not.
is him doing this, right? Block the ads, buying ads.
I thought vampires needed to be had to be invited in.
YouTube videos. Buying ads on my YouTube videos about getting his message out there. That's it. That's crazy. That is crazy, huh? Wow. Is this smart businessman? Apparently not. It's probably not working, right? I mean, I don't know if it's really working. Let me read a few of the comments about this. It's just really, really fucking funny.
I gotta put my magnet on.
Let me see. Where is it? There. All right. Let's notice this. What a tool. Solution ad guard home. Yeah, bro. Like you don't need to watch any ads, bro. It's just so annoying. I get that, right? And I used to work on my PC. You need one of those thousands ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine
U-Block.
that.
Oh god, Mrs. Circumference, scary guy. And then
Got
this
my
was the
magnet.
thing, diabolical. What's the ad though? You can just look at the ads to watch. Just type in the advertiser name. He must have removed it. There's a direct link. He pays people $10. He's paying people to watch the content, paying people to fucking interact with it, paying Google to
Kinda
show it.
defeats the
oh my
purpose,
God,
don't it?
bro, like, I mean,
Well,
come
I guess
on,
not. His purpose
What are
is.
you doing? What are you doing? You can buy advertisement shows for a particular channel and video. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Has a
right?
different purpose.
This obsessive person actually
Doing it for a different
does this.
purpose.
I mean, yeah, actually, Sarah about 100% heard his case, court case against Zimmeru. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, right? But it sure seems like it would, right? I'll tell you that. And we'll never know the real depth of retardation. You actually will, trust me. Like, I have a good feeling that the way things will unravel will be very, very clear. And this is only, again, this is the only tip of the iceberg. And also nice of him to give Asmo money. Yeah, maybe, you know what? Can you take out more ads on my channel and then I can make back the $100,000 of my money that you wasted by suing me for some bullshit? How about that? How about taking out more ads on my channel? This seems like a good idea. I'm up for Twitch too. Seems like a great idea. There's a thread to Shiloh Judge. Oh my God, this woman. I've got to look at that. And what a waste of fucking money. What a weasel, bro. What a little rat. Like, yeah, like, where's my reparations? I like that. Circular economy. Yeah, pay me with my own money. Well, it's not, he didn't even get the money. I gave it to a law firm. He didn't get anything. He was just all pissed away on bullshit. Did he get money recouped in law? Because it gets tossed out. Because it's a federal court one, it was unlikely. I had a big conversation about this. It's probably just not going to happen. I could pursue it, but it probably would not be worth doing. And so, I mean, that's really the reason why. So, yeah. And this PR manager begs the question. I don't know if he hired anybody. I have no idea. So this is the person. So, by the way, yeah, what a fucking idiot. I mean, I don't even really know what to say. It's just crazy, bro. Like, oh my God. Paying to put ads on my channel. Wow. Of his own videos. The kind of creators are saying when ads run on their channels. Yeah, you have a bit of control, right? You do. And can you do that? I have no idea. And does Salon crash out? Yeah, I mean, it happened like last October, right? I feel like that was quite a while ago. So what can be done about it? I mean, I'm sure there's like a million countermeasures. We have people at YouTube to deal with it. I don't even really know. Like, I mean, this is something I just found out about this morning. So, like, I don't have like a whole like operational apparatus invented to solve this problem. But speaking of apparatuses and operations, Roach review. So I'm having a dry run of that. We're going to be doing that. I think it's going to be tonight or the day after. I'd have to go back and check my calendar. And we're going to be doing the show probably in the next 5 days. I want to get it done before the end of the month. And so that's the plan. And it is happening. Yes, it is happening. Huge shout out to Ridge. Huge shout out to Peckies. Huge shout out to Fern Melder, all my other moderators, Free Jam. I don't want to go through the whole list because somebody's going to get let out. Left out. Jay helped out a lot with this. I mean, tons of people helped out with this. And so, like, thank you guys. You guys have done a great job. And also all the people that have voted and put in their information. I mean, everybody's been involved with this. So thank you guys, and we're going to be doing the show. It's going to be the first episode, and we're going to be doing it probably the second episode. We'll probably take a 45-day interval. It depends on kind of what happens, how people's opinions are. We might have a title sponsor for the show just so we can make sure that people can get paid, right? But we don't really know that yet. I have another meeting about that actually. I think that's on Sunday, I believe. The meeting for that that's tomorrow. So I am doing this stuff behind the scenes. I had a situation happen like last week, right, where I was busy for most of the evenings, and so because of that, I wasn't able to like keep up with everything. But now, obviously, that situation has been displaced, you could say, and we're back to it, right? And situation, yeah, definitely. And we know, yes, of course, it's called Power World. To be honest, most of it actually was Power World. But we're gonna beat the Hardman bosses today. By the way, so are you planning on watching Trump's wild correspondence dinner speech, or did I miss it? I'll probably watch some of the clips of it, yeah. But I haven't really gotten around to it because I've just been looking at other stuff. But yeah, we're gonna go through the rest of it. So anyway, no need to pay me. I'm glad to help. Yeah, I mean, like, we're gonna see if we can do something, but maybe we can give everybody $10, right? If the event goes really well and we get enough of an amount of money. Like if we paid out, so like if we had 10,000 judges and we paid out $10 to each person, so that'd be $100K. I mean, like, we could probably do that, like giving everybody $10. Honestly, it would probably cost us more money to
10,000
logistically
judges?
give everybody $10 than to just say like nobody's getting $10, right?
So, like,
I don't
voters,
know. I'd have to
judges.
really think about it. So yeah,
Judges.
like after a year of service, you get paid $10. Like this is like what year is this? It's like 1635. And anyway, yeah, start playing Tank Rail. Thanks for the suggestion. It's a great game, isn't it? I really love that game. It's an amazing. And they brought out a new.
$7.35 pizza offer. Pick up at Papa John's Pizza 4.5 miles. 15 minutes total. Check the ad for more info. Offer accepted. We'll add it to your route.
Air conditioner drying my nose out. Shade. I'll be dang. Ugh. And the receipt. This is a new thing.
And it's the same thing I said. Like,
There is no receipt.
everything, whether it's this.
Okay, got it.
Same problem. And the issue is that conservatives are unwilling to solve that problem.
I guess it wants to make
When did it
you
have to change?
confirm you
When
got
did
the
it
right
have to change?
name, order,
I think
everything.
Because you guys will be in
Alright.
for
I can never know
very
what-
big surprise. I'll tell you that.
There's a
Let me
light.
scroll down
Which
and look at a few more of the other posts, right? And
Where's
Transkin
light?
is
Subway
the same concept.
is-
Well, I mean, it's really just
This
a
is
process.
okay,
It's
that
an
way.
outcome of,
Oh, I saw this. I thought this was funny. Here we go.
IQ doesn't really measure intelligence. Why does it confirm all of my preconceived biases for different groups of people?
I don't know, maybe because of those preconceived biases you must admit to having them. Just admit you're prejudiced, man. Like, how do you
On
see that
my
fully
way.
ironically?
Because bigotry is reasonable, ironically. Stereotype accuracy is one of the most reliable effects in all of social psychology. Every time they match up commonly held, generalized notions about different groups of people with the actual data pertaining to those groups of people, it consistently aligns, like, astoundingly well. The correlation value is always 1.5.
Damn, that smells good. I must be hungry.
In other words, being prejudiced is actually quite reasonable. And stereotypes don't exist for no reason, as the old adage says. Now, if you disagree with that, you disagree with the data. So which one of us is really bigoted? Which one of us has an unreasonable, obstinate attachment to our own beliefs?
IQ is shaped by childhood development, but mostly nutrition. Look at these studies in Afghanistan, where children were provided with more food and had an average of 15 IQ points higher than the sample size.
This is like saying height is exclusively caused by nutrition, because once you stop starving kids, they grow taller. Literally no hereditarian explanation of IQ denies that you need sufficient nutrition to reach your maximal genetic potential for IQ, but that doesn't explain why, like, literally dirt poor Asian people still have higher IQs on average than well-off black Americans. When you look at the levels of European admixture in, say, Hispanic or African populations, meaning the percentage of European DNA contributed, it actually positively predicts for higher IQ scores. Even when you factor in, like, colorism and, like, the presentation of that person's race to the world. Why wouldn't there be a genetic underpinning for IQ, just like there is for height?
saying the quiet part out loud. I wonder why there's no more research on this. Isn't that crazy?
In size of reaction time or speed of development in particular groups of people, because although racial categories are socially labeled, they still exist as general clusters of human phenotypes which relate to a shared genetic history. And it's not enough to just point to studies where they control for various factors and say that eliminates the gap, therefore the gap was caused by those factors, because that presupposes that all of those various factors were not also influenced by IQ. For example, if you were to just control for income and then the gap shortens, you could say, well, it's actually mostly due to income differences, and then the kids don't get the right education, yada, yada, yada. But you're not considering the fact that maybe IQ actually also impacts income or education or the attentiveness of parents or whatever and what have you. And the reason this matters is because leftists want to insist that any unequal outcomes are necessarily due to systemic problems in order to say they need to have further control over the system. But if it is the case that there are some underlying differences, then that's simply grifting in order to gain power. But of course, these people would never do that, right? Anyway, the Wonpop YouTube channel is up and running again. We got a radio hour now. Link in bio. Go check it out.
I really like this guy. I really like this guy. I think this guy.
I wasn't listening.
IQ doesn't really measure intelligence. Why?
Yeah, I do. I'll link the video. Sure.
I guess I can turn it off if I'm not listening. I'm kind of driving, so it's a little hard to. I try not to do anything else. I've been driving for 25 years, so I think I've learned how to pay attention to driving. I'm not texting and driving. I'm not. Yeah, I want to be live. I want to go live. I need my 50 subscribers so I can go live, so my customers can watch me. But go live, I'm not going to be able to interact with the chat until I'm stopped. Or read it, period. Interact whatsoever. Reading is interacting. Especially interacting, but reading it. I'm at the base. I didn't even notice that.
All calls may be monitored by DoorDash and or third
Let me back in. I should have told him about my channel. I gotta tell somebody about it. At least one person a day. Right? Is my door not? It's a little warm out there. Pause. I'm afraid to text them, text it to them, because I don't want to get in trouble with DoorDash. Probably wouldn't get in trouble. That's just it. I probably wouldn't. I would like excuse me. I would like to be sure instead of probably. Let me pull over and text him. I'm gonna text that guy. Military guy, young guy. I don't mind having him as a subscriber. If he would. Anyway. David. Thank you, David. Nobody work. Okay, Saturday they're closed. I just started a YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. That's a mean looking bug. I don't know what it was. It wasn't not a mosquito. Alright, now I gotta wash my hands. I got some. started a YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe. At Topher Hall 0711. Damn, did that motherfucker? No, that's just where I thought he bit me at first. He might have bit me, but it's probably just where I slapped my leg. Topher Hall 0711. YouTube.com. Topher Hall 0711. I should have just gave him a card. I'm done. Okay, I just started a YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe, YouTube at Topher Hall 0711. All right, let's get to it. All right. Thank you, David, if you subscribe. Thank you if you don't. It's fine. So what am I need to pause, don't I? Get back over to Cracker Barrel. I need to add some time too. And I'm at 4:30, so I got an hour left. Damn it, that hurt. Should have done that. The lights out. I wonder if all the power's out.
man. Imagine how many of these fucks defend themselves, bro. They're weak and retarded and shit. It's just sad, bro. It really is just fucking sad. Whatever, guys, watching, put everything up until it becomes a cancer and kills us. I don't know, man. It's like the Predator scene from Office Space, but done completely seriously with no irony. My God.
Why are you not coming through my radio?
Oh my God. I never.
It's totally gonna get my video copyrighted.
This is justified. This is absolutely justified.
Guess I have to mute it. I don't want to have to do that. Probably already will. Yeah, so Cracker Barrel, they make it a point to see where you confirm the order when you pick it up. Like, let me show, like they make you. It's kind of, they make you. It's aggravating. They're aggravating about it, but I get it. Like there's the more expensive the food, the more I expect to be treated like a thief. Does that make sense? Like Sonny's, they try to make sure you confirm it too. They try to see it. They want to see it. Well, Cracker Barrel, they want to see it. Sonny's, they make sure to say confirm it. I don't know how they treat other people. They treated me like that for a while until they got used to me and my bag. I usually have a red shirt on. I got a red bag. I used to have a red hat. I had a DoorDash hat, but it's not red anymore. It's orange now. So I don't wear it. This one's turning. This is a McDonald's hat. It's supposed to be blue, but it's faded. That's what the sun does to them. Anyway. That's it. That's pretty much it. The more expensive the food, the more I expect to be treated like a thief. I understand. Like if you go downtown to the Indian restaurants, they want you to confirm it too. Or any of, not just the Indian restaurant. That was one time, but any of the restaurants down there. I did pick up food from the Indian guys that work at our liquor store in Atmore a couple of times, but it got to where I'd tell him that I was going to Dash and I wouldn't go, and then I wouldn't tell him that I was going and I would go. So I don't know, for like 2-3 months there, it seemed like we just couldn't get on the same schedule. So now we don't even bother. I need to tell him about my channel. I think he may have already subscribed. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, he might have been the one I lost. Because I lost one subscriber, and I could tell. I could tell I lost one. I had 9, or no, I had 8, and it went down to 7. And I've had 7 for a while. And it just went back up to 8. If David subscribes, that'll be 9. I can count the 1. I know when someone's... Anyway. Like when I go live on Rumble, sometimes I have like 7 viewers. I'm like, who in the world? And then I look into it, and it's usually a sex robot. All my followers on Rumble are sex robots. I just had to block them. Like every other time I go live on Rumble, somebody adds me and it's a sex robot. I have to block them.
Interesting dynamic fights. With no shield, the Retarius was never going to beat a Murmillo in a straight-on brawl. He had to use his mobility and this net to outmaneuver the Murmillo. The Murmillo, meanwhile, had to adapt to the Retarius. He couldn't simply bull forward the way he would in other matchups. We see this same sort of concept of play and counterplay here. That's crazy, isn't it? Oh my fucking god. 1 for 1? Absolutely. So, yeah, I saw this. It was really funny, and this is the reason why, she let her friend go, get her, yeah, man. Blonde got it easily. And everybody's giving out their opinion on this stuff, obviously, of course, right? But I do think it's really funny how, like, it's so obvious this girl looked like she looked worse than her friend, and then she immediately turned around to look better than her friend. Insane. Absolutely crazy. It worked. I know it worked. That's right. And of course, classic women, I know. And gotta show the assets, man. Yeah, bro, like, it's just hoes run a while. What can I say? It's just the way it is. And okay, let me see if the other ones are here. Holy Legendary, what is this? I know it's supposed to take 100 veggie cakes. What is this? This is a big deal? This is a big deal to him? That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all. Everybody has this. Yeah, everybody has this shit. Like, what are you, fucking retarded? Not me?
Where am I at?
Yeah,
2 hours?
I mean, everybody has this shit. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Damn, I have those as implant? Yeah, like, no you don't? Yeah, I do. Like, I have that on like 5 different guys. Yeah, I have it on 5 different guys, man. It's not even a thing. Just started having so much fun. You have 17k attack. He didn't have 17k attack in general. What he does is he went and he used all the buffs. See, like, he put, like, the gun on the guy. He has all the other pals out. He's got 30 stacks. See, he's trying to flex on them hoes, and y'all don't understand it. He already has the 30 stacks of the Ozark buff as well. So you're comparing him whenever he's in the middle of a combat encounter with all of his buffs up and everything to what your base stats are. Like, y'all don't understand the way the game is. You don't get the way the game works. I know the way the game works because I played it all fucking day. He's at the boss. Yeah, like, people don't know shit about this fucking game, man. It's embarrassing. You got the answers? Yes. I'll show y'all. I'll get to it in a bit. What is this here at Rest Records? This video has, what is this here? This video has 177,000 likes. When you're looking through arrest records and mugshots, do you see suspects who clearly aren't white being listed as white anyway? That's right. That's right. People, this shit pisses me off. I wonder why. It's in order for them to create a closer disparity between different racial crime groups. That's the reason why. And why is it that, for example, like, let's say the default race was black? Because this is the reason why this happens. So the reason why this happens is because the default race for the police system is probably white. So, like, white is the default, and so unless you change it to something else, it will default to white. Let me ask you something. If the default was black, do you think they'd change that? Do you think they'd change it? You're really defending this? I'm explaining. You think I'm defending this? You're the kind of person that I don't think should be allowed to vote. You're the kind of person that shouldn't have the same rights that I have. I just don't think it's fair for me to have to suffer from that. I don't think I should have to suffer that. Zero critical thinking. So, anyway, this is what's been going on for a while, and I think they need to fix this. They do, because what it's doing is it's creating false, again, like, it's not true, right? And anybody who's saying this is not a big deal, it's obviously a big deal. Because if you want to ask them, would it be a big deal if they were listing a bunch of white people as black people? Like, let's say there's a bunch of white child molesters, and
then they're getting labeled in the police department as being black. Guess what? These people would be up in arms about it. They'd be furious about this. They'd say it's systemic racism. And it would be, but for some reason they're okay with this. And the reason why is super simple. It's because they're fucking racist against white people. That's the reason why. And they use that racism to create these little structural pitfalls that allow them to craft narratives that are a lie.
I think I see what.
And that's exactly it. It's convenient for the narrative. And I'm glad to see more young guys figuring this out. I don't
Seems
know if
like
this is
nothing,
just
but it's a little
imposed on this.
something.
It's actually from this kid. Well, I mean, maybe it's just this kid making a separate video and they're putting it on this. But either way, it needs to change. It definitely does. It's not a choice. I'm ethnically Iranian, but I'm categorized as white. No choice in the matter. In college, I had other as an option, but that's gone. Yeah, but we're not talking about Iranians, are we? Like, that's not an Iranian. I think that you're right. I mean, there are, and here's the truth, right? There are guys from Afghanistan. There are guys from fucking Iran. There's guys from Turkey. And, like, if you saw them, that's a fucking white guy, okay? Like, you would immediately say that's a white guy. So, I'm not saying that it isn't true. Department of Deportations, I like this. So, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying in general, I think this is an issue. Now, I'll go back. Hassan is one of them. He is. Like, he's basically a white guy. I think it's true. And this is, bro, please give modern games a try.
What is this a game? Is this even a real game? Is this the game? What the fuck are we playing? What is this? Yeah, we need to escape. Everybody run!
Most people have no idea what we can.
You literally talk about negging and gaslighting. What the fuck are you talking about? Corey, which one of these characters was you most want to talk to?
I want this bus to flip over with all of the idiots. They made this game because of the Trump election. When he was elected, that's the reason why they made this game. I'm not joking.
It's so bad.
Development since 2016?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course the golem is trying to look for fucking ice cream.
Two fat pigs sitting there looking for sody pops.
Zach, you know what? Your ultimate move should be this is my like Friends game, and you just like rip off this plot and script. Charlie the Bus try to escape Nazis.
Sorry, it's the robot.
Jesus.
All the drama is fucking stupid.
Say no, I won't.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Please get modern
god.
games. It's Elden Ring. That shot.
Guys, Donald Trump is flying those fucking
Dude, can we get some like Donald Trump dialogue in the background?
Oh, you fucking stupid bastard. Hold right trigger, and then use push. Oh no.
Oh my god.
I thought that was what you did. I swear to God.
Jesus.
Your character is such a bitch.
Not supposed to use your box on.
Ooh,
Why is he
traffic.
beating up this little Asian girl, Pops?
Alright.
You in that hole and nail it shut. No.
You got the worst character in gaming history, dude.
bully, she says with the police guy.
These video games are such a huge fucking problem. I don't even know what to say. This is crazy. Let me look at it and see. I'll look at some of the Reddit stuff too. I need to play this game.
It's Saturday. What is
you
this
know what?
traffic?
I could go back and play this game. It would be really funny if I
Oh,
did.
it's okay.
Maybe if I'm running low on content and I don't have anything else to do. Christopher Nolan says Homer's original Odyssey ending was so grim and misogynistic that it had to be altered for the film.
This feels like beach traffic.
I've got bad. This is the ending in the book. You can listen to the end. Let me see. Can I find it?
Your part is now to tell me of the women, those who dishonored me and the innocent. His own old nurse, Eurycleia, said, I will then. Child, you know you'll have the truth from me. 50 all told they are, your female slaves, trained by your lady and myself in service, walkarding, and the rest of it. Taught to be submissive. 12 went bad, flouting me, flouting Penelope too. being barely grown, his mother would never let him rule the serving women. But she must let me go to her lighted rooms and tell her someone sent her adrift of sleep. But in reply, the grinning tactician
We used to have, you know, you used to be able to have more than one wife, and then some simp a few thousand years ago thought that was a bad idea. Like, y'all have no idea how good we used to have it.
Not yet. Do not awake her. Tell those women who were the suitors.
Harem anime used to be real life.
She went back on this mission through his hall. Then he called Telemachus to his side and the two herdsmen. Sharply, Odysseus said,
Can we go find that dude?
First of all, direct the women.
Let's go find that
Tables and
dude.
chairs will be scrubbed with sponges, rinsed and rinsed again.
That's
when our
right.
great room is fresh and put in order,
That's
take
right.
them outside, these women, between the roundhouse and the palisade, and hack them with your sword blades till you cut the life out of them. Every thought of sweet Aphrodite under the rotting suitors when they lay down in secret.
Yes!
As he spoke, here came the women in a bunch, all wailing, soft tears on their cheeks. They fell to
Oh, shit!
the corpses out into the courtyard, under the gateway, propping one against the other, as Odysseus ordered.
Damn.
He himself stood over them.
$4.
In fear, these women bore the
Wawa,
cold weight of
$4.
death. The next thing was to scrub the chairs and tables and rinse them down.
All the blood.
Telemachus and the herdsmen
Yeah.
scraped
All the traitors,
the
yep.
floor with hose, but made the women carry out all blood and mire.
That's smart.
When the great room was cleaned up once
Yeah.
again, at sword point they forced them out between the roundhouse and the palisade, pell-mell, to huddle in that dead end without exit. Telemachus
They'll let
in his
something by
mind
you
said
sometime.
curtly, I would not give the clean death of a beast to trolls who made a mockery of my mother, and of me too, you sluts who lay with suitors. He tied one end of a hawser to a pillar and passed the other about the roundhouse top.
They don't make them the way they used to, I'll tell you that. Oh, wow!
Taking the slack up so that no one's toes could touch the ground. They would be hung like doves or larks in springes, triggered in a thicket where the birds think to rest, a cruel nesting. So now, in turn, each woman thrust her head into a noose and swung, yanked high in air, to perish there most piteously. Their feet
What are you
danced
watching,
rapidly,
Asmongold?
but not long. From storeroom to the court, they brought Melanthius, chopped with swords to cut his nose and ears off, pulled off his genitals to feed the dogs, and raging,
Cut
burned
his
his hands
dick
and
off,
feet away.
bro!
As their own hands and feet called for a washing, they went indoors to Odysseus again. Their work was done.
Fucking
He told
beast.
Eurycleia, bring me brimstone and a brazier,
You're
medicinal
burnt
fumes to
alive.
purify my all. Then tell Penelope to come and bring her maids. Also,
I don't. I'm glad they enjoy it. Sure. $13. That pays for my gas.
$12.60 offer. Pick up at Chipotle Mexican Grill 12.0 miles. 33 minutes. Offer accepted. We'll add it to your route.
Chipotle. Alright. interstate and go back the other way on the interstate. Okay. Seminole, that's Alabama. video struck. I mean, it's not like I make any money on anyway, but if ever I were to make money, I don't see that happening though. You need like 10,000 people before you can make money. I'm not 10,000 entertaining. I don't want to be 10,000 entertaining. If I'm 10,000 entertaining, it's going to be by accident. Just saying. Alright, so if I get one person a week for 10 years, that's like 500 people. 600 people. get part 2 of last episode because I accidentally showed my phone number in it. And I don't know how to blur stuff yet. And I'm not going to take the time to do that, to learn that yet. I will one day, but not yet. So I just deleted it. It was fine. It's fine. So, but I'm gonna kill this one at 3 hours, and then start part 2, and then I'll have music in part 2. I'm gonna play some music. I don't mind sitting here quietly, but I get to thinking. Thinking too long, I start missing folks. So, I'm gonna play some music. I know what I could do. I can put on some sermons. That always helps. I'm sure I missed a couple.
In the sense that we're a threat to principalities and powers and spiritual forces of darkness in the heavenly realms. The alternative to a dangerous faith is a non-threatening faith. I'm not interested in that. I believe faith in Jesus Christ is disruptive. I believe it's disruptive to the purposes of darkness. I believe it's disruptive to a self-centered life. I believe it's disruptive to many things other than the advancement of the kingdom of God. And I think we have to be awakened to a different attitude towards faith. For far too long in American Christian, particularly evangelicalism at least, there's been a focus primarily on personal salvation. And while that's essential and necessary and admirable and worth engaging in, all the things, beyond that point, we tend to imagine that there's less significance to whatever is next. And I believe that's just contrary to the invitations of Scripture. So we're trying to understand what it means to be effective disciples, productive disciples in the 21st century. And I think that requires of us a different attitude towards faith. In this session, we're going to talk about uncomfortable light. When you've been in outside of direct sunlight, whether you've been indoors or in the dark, when you step into that brighter light, it's uncomfortable. If you move me from indoors to out into the sunlight, and it catches me in the right way, I'll sneeze every time.
I've seen that.
Since I was a wee lad. And that light is uncomfortable. And when the light comes into the darkness, in a light, in a heart, in a family, in a business, into the government, it's uncomfortable initially because we've adapted to the darkness. And it takes some courage to turn up the light or to walk into the light. But it's a much healthier place with the visibility and the clarity that comes with that. There have been some things we've processed. I'll take just a moment with it since we're trying to wrap up. One is the notion that there are seasons in which God moves in different ways. I point that out because there's a great tendency amongst us to imagine that the way we experience God is the best way, the most correct way, and the way in which God will always move. And so we routinize it and formalize it, and we teach it in that way. And I don't know that that's wicked or...
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave a door. It's the first trailer on the left.
contrary to the teachings of Scripture. God led Abram to leave his family, his home community, and move to a distant place that he would show him after he had left. God doesn't require all of us to move. God told Noah to build the boat and to start a zoo. God doesn't require all of us to build boats and be zookeepers. God told Moses to go back and confront Pharaoh and said, let my people go, and gave him a revelation for the transformation of a whole nation of people and how to implement worship and a code for holiness and purity. God doesn't give those revelations to all of us. God called Samuel to lead the tribes of Israel as a judge and itinerant. He traveled to the 12 tribes. God called David to lead the children of Israel by being a king and establishing a capital city. God called Isaiah to be a prophet and to say to the king of Israel and the king of Judah that the foreign armies that were advancing would not overwhelm you, not to worry about them. God called Jeremiah to be a prophet, and he told him to tell the king of Judah that the foreign armies that are advancing against you will overwhelm you and there's nothing you can do about it. Every one of those individuals was led by the Spirit of God to serve the purposes of God. They were all unique and different. And I don't think it's appropriate for us to imagine that God will always work in the same way. I believe there are seasons when God invites us to new responses. And I'm of the opinion, you can disagree with me, it's okay, but I'm of the opinion that God is shaking the earth. And that he is revealing those things that are temporary and unstable and shakeable, so that the one unshakable thing, the kingdom of God, is being revealed. If your trust for your future is anchored in something other than the kingdom of God, these are most frightening days. I mean, we live in perhaps the most stable of nations available. We certainly have more prosperity and more freedoms and more liberties, but if you imagine it's secure and stable, you're not paying attention. Only God can secure our future. I don't say that to frighten you. God is trustworthy. He's faithful. He will take us through whatever. But the United States government or the strength of our economy does not secure our futures. The other thing we've processed is that there is a challenge to our faith. There's a spiritual challenge to our faith. And spiritual challenges are typically expressed through people and through organizations of people. And so that's why Paul had to write to the Ephesians and say we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, because most of the time it feels like we do. But the root of the challenges that we face is spiritual. We have to become more spiritually literate, more spiritually aware, and understand the principles of the kingdom of God. If we'll do that, I believe we will flourish. So I want to start with that tonight, is with some of Jesus' messaging. You know, I often read that Jesus' message was love and peace. And that's true. Those were messages that Jesus delivered. And they were central to them. There's even commands attached to them. I'm not diminishing that. But it's not the full expression of what Jesus had to say. It's like saying that God is a God of love. He absolutely is. But he's also a God of justice. And if you imagine that his love will outweigh his justice, you haven't read carefully. And so when we talk about Jesus, it's true that the Sermon on the Mount gave us a set of ways to orient ourselves in the world that would make us radically different. But it wasn't the only message Jesus delivered. And I brought a couple just samples. John chapter 8 and verse 48. Jesus is engaging with a group of people in Jerusalem, and there's a debate going on. He said some things to them that are not flattering. That they're following the devil. I don't know of any first century cultural point that would make that less threatening. If somebody walks up to you and said the devil's your father, well, they're not blessing you. And so we're kind of stepping into the backside of that. And the Jews answered him, aren't we right in saying that you're a Samaritan and demon-possessed? And in case you're not tracking, they're not complimenting him back. They hated the Samaritans. They believed their faith was illegitimate, and they've added to that, you're also demon-possessed. And Jesus responds, I'm not possessed by a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. I'm not seeking glory for myself, but there's one who seeks it, and he's the judge. I tell you the truth. If anyone keeps my word, he'll never see death. And at this they responded, now we know that you're demon-possessed. Abraham died, and so did the prophets, that you say that if anyone keeps your word, he'll never taste death. Just for the sake of brevity, I didn't give you the whole conversation that Jesus had with them, but for the little sample I gave you, it's not a comfortable conversation. They're saying to Jesus, you're demon possessed. And he's saying to them, you don't honor God. And you don't recognize truth. So that there is a tone to at least some of Jesus' conversations that it's confrontational. It's awkward. And I don't think you and I can fulfill the purposes of God in our lives if we avoid every conversation that is awkward. I don't want you to be belligerent. I don't want you to be condemning. I don't want you to go into the world angry. But I don't want you to hide. I don't think we honor God when we capitulate. When we make our goal to be non-threatening in every circumstance. Not just my opinion. In Matthew chapter 10, Jesus said, whoever acknowledges me before men, I will also acknowledge him before my Father in heaven. What a wonderful promise. And then a wonderful promise that if we'll acknowledge God, Jesus will acknowledge us. But then he also said, whoever disowns me before men, I will disown him before my Father in heaven. Don't suppose that I've come to bring peace to the earth. I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. I've come to turn a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. I don't understand that in context to mean that we should hate the people we live with. I don't think that was the essence of Jesus' teaching at all. But I do believe he was giving us an accurate portrayal of our realities in that faith in Jesus will bring division even into our homes. And we will have to have the courage because the context of the conversation is acknowledging me before men or disowning me before men. And in the context of the most precious relationships in our lives, we will still have to have the courage to acknowledge Jesus, not to capitulate. Which means there will be awkward conversations and difficult conversations. I think we've avoided those for far too long. We've winked at sin. We've just nodded at ungodliness. We've chosen to talk about grace, and I'm an advocate for grace. If you look it up, you'll probably find my picture. I'm the beneficiary of God's grace until this moment in time. Amen. So I don't want to diminish it, nor do I want to encourage you to do that. But neither do I want to coach you to overlook ungodliness. I believe we have to have the courage to have the love to say to people that we care about, that we're doing life with, whether they're friends or family members, that we can't make ungodly choices and imagine it will bring the blessings of God. We don't live through sin. You see, we don't just know what the truth is and ignore it and lead ungodly lives and think, well, we'll get to a place where I'll start to be more godly and there'll be no consequence. The first response when we recognize that we're ungodly is to repent. And in repentance we find forgiveness. But it doesn't mean there's a complete erasure of consequences. And when we know right and we choose wrong, it opens our lives to all sorts of destructive things. And you have to care about people enough to share the truth with them in a loving way. We can walk with them through those seasons, but we cannot agree with them in their ungodliness, or we bring destruction to ourselves. I want to use as kind of a canvas for the conversation the church in Philippi. We started this on Saturday evening, a session or two ago, and we didn't get quite through it, so I want to go back and see if we can take it a step further. I'm really trying to challenge this notion that to be a Christ follower means we always capitulate. That we always yield the field. That the best way to advance the gospel is to always be timid. Again, I don't want us to be belligerent and angry, but there are passages other than turn the other cheek. You know, you can prove anything you want to, one verse at a time.
Yep.
I don't want to go there tonight. I'll never get back.
Yep.
Acts chapter 16 is when we're introduced to Philippi, and through that the community of faith that emerges there. And I just wanted to quickly acknowledge that it began by God's supernatural initiative. It wasn't on Paul's travel plan. It wasn't a part of their missionary strategy. The Spirit of God directed them to Philippi. It's in your notes in Acts 16 and verse 9. During the night, Paul had a vision of a man from Macedonia begging him, come over and help us. And after Paul had seen the vision, they changed their plans, and that's where they went. noteworthy because of what unfolds. Same chapter in verse 12. It says, from there we traveled to Philippi, a Roman colony in the leading city of the district of Macedonia. So it was a population center, a city of some influence. And we stayed for several days. On the Sabbath, we went outside the city gate to the river, expecting to find a place of prayer. They went to where they imagined people of just general faith would be gathered. And we sat down and began to speak to the women who gathered there. And one of those listening was a woman named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth from the city. She was a worshiper of God. And the Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message, and she and the members of her household were baptized. And she invited us into her home. She said, if you consider me a believer, come and stay at my house. And she persuaded us. So the community of faith in Philippi begins with this one person's transformation. And she invites them into her household, and so her friend group is going to be affected. The church is on its way. The church is on its way. Same chapter, verse 16. Once we were going to the place of prayer. The place of prayer is where they met Lydia. So it's a safe assumption, and it's not explicitly stated. They're heading back to the similar place. And as they're traversing the marketplace, they're met by a slave girl who had a spirit by which she predicted the future. She earned a great deal of money for her owners by fortune telling. She followed Paul and the rest of us, shouting, these men are servants of the Most High God, who are telling you the way to be saved. The demon in the girl understand who Paul and his team were more than anybody else in the community. So there are spiritual forces, there are spiritual beings that have insight and understanding into current events and people that exceeds our own. I don't think that necessarily needs to be frightening, but if you ignore it, you're ignoring the counsel of Scripture. And tragically, for far too long, in our literature, in our formal training and professional training, we have discounted it. I have been in the classrooms where they say, the first century audience had their sophistication was less than our own, and they believed far more broadly in spiritual things and spiritual beings and angels and demons. So when you read the Gospels of the New Testament and they came from that general time period, there's discussion of those things, but you shouldn't lend it any credibility. So they stand outside the Bible and pass judgment on it based on culture. Well, if that's the case, then the message of how the gospel spread around the Roman world isn't legitimate, because Paul, one of the greatest advocates for the Jesus that the world has ever known, by title wrote 2/3 of our New Testament. He believed in demonic activity. So if you're going to decide which portions of the narrative are legitimate and which portions are illegitimate, then your carnal self becomes the adjudicator of truth. Jesus believed in demons and demonic activity in human beings. In the synagogue in Mark chapter 1 in Capernaum, there was a demonized man that challenged Jesus, and the demon said, I know who you are. Have you come here to torment us? The demon understood something that nobody else in the synagogue yet understood. And this young woman in the slave market that is a fortune teller, has a spirit of divination, has some insight and understanding. And Paul turned to her and rebuked the spirit, and she was delivered from the spirit. And the men who were controlling her and profiting significantly from her spirit of divination were angered by that. They were angry at Paul and Silas and his team. So they stirred up an angry response to them that resulted in them being arrested. So there is a demonic resistance to the advance of the gospel in the city of Philippi. That's being expressed through people. But it's really an angry response because the spirits that have held sway, that have had the spiritual authority in that community, have been challenged. There's a new authority in the community. And the light that has come is uncomfortable. They don't like it. So Paul, they're arrested. Verse 22, it says that the crowd joined in the attack against Paul and Silas, and the magistrates ordered them to be stripped and beaten. After they'd been severely flogged, they're thrown into prison, and the jailer was commanded to guard them carefully, and upon receiving such orders, he put them in the inner cell and fastened their feet in the stocks. Because they helped the woman. They weren't stealing. launching some political diatribe to challenge Caesar, they helped a young woman who was tormented by an unclean spirit. And there was some perceived economic forfeiture by the men affiliated with that woman, and they stirred up an angry mob. The response is disproportionate. That's why I think, to me, when I see something that's illogical and disproportionate in its response, I begin to imagine there's spiritual components to that. And it seems to me to be a demonic response to the presence of Paul and Silas and the messaging they're bringing to Philippi and the threat that it poses to the spiritual forces of wickedness that have held influence in that community. And the outcome of that is Paul and Silas suffer. They have a dangerous faith. They have a dangerous faith. Same chapter, verse 26. They're in prison. It's the middle of the night. Many of you know the story. They're worshiping the Lord in the middle of the night. They're weird. I mean, I know it's in the Bible, but they've been physically beaten. They've been unjustly arrested. They're locked in the inner part of a prison. It's not a great day. And they're worshiping the Lord. And there's an earthquake. And the result of the earthquake is it's in your notes. Suddenly there was a violent earthquake, and the foundations of the prison were shaken. Prison doors fly open. Everybody. And the jailer woke up. We're introduced to another character now. There's a jailer. If you're a Roman jailer and you're given charge over prisoners and prisoners escape, you'll be executed. So the jailer wakes up and he sees the prison doors are open.
10 minutes.
Prisoners are not bound in any way or restrained. When he saw the prison doors open, he drew his sword and was about to kill himself. Not because he's blue, he knows he's going to be executed. This is less humiliating. He thought the prisoners had escaped, but Paul shouted, "Don't harm yourself, we're all here." The jailer called for lights and he rushed in. And he fell trembling before Paul and Silas. Again, that's not normal. He's the jailer. He didn't have any compassion on Paul and Silas earlier in the narrative. After they were beaten, he just bound them hand and foot in the stocks in the innermost part of the cell. Doesn't say he expressed any kindness to them. He wasn't gentle or careful, or nothing is expressed in that way. Now the jail's been shaken and the jailer is trembling before his prisoners. And then he brought them out and he asked, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" He's aware that something has happened, that there's been a power exerted, that something, it's more than just an earthquake. There's something in the midst of that narrative and that set of experiences that has caused this hardened Roman jailer to recognize God is moving. And what I want to suggest to you is we see this season of God moving and evil being expressed. They're happening simultaneously. We've got to be more aware. When men say, "I want to compete in women's sports," you should understand that's not normal. You don't need a PhD's evaluation. You don't need Congress to vote. You're going, no, I don't think so. Now, we have cultivated some lies, and we're reaping the harvest of that. We've said for a few decades now that men and women are the same, and we can do the same things, and women can do anything men can do, and men can do anything women can. No, we're different. Doesn't mean we're intellectually inferior or superior. I'm not saying that, but we're different. If we aren't different, then we don't need men's sports and women's sports. We just need sports. This isn't complicated.
Half of Jeff Foxworthy's career. Half of his jokes. I remember when I was like 15, but half of his jokes was about the differences between men and women. A lot of comedy is about the differences, like most comedy. Anyway.
But it challenges narratives, dishonest narratives, manipulative narratives that have flourished amongst us. The expressions of darkness, and we have to have the courage to say, no, we're not the same. Have we been disadvantaged by one another? Sure. Sin does that, not biology. The only way we end up treating one another with respect and dignity and equal opportunities is if we honor God. Because if we reject God's boundaries and we pursue opportunities, because apart from God, equality just means I want an advantage. It's only under the discipline of God that causes us to treat one another with respect and dignity. Nothing in human nature or human history suggests to us that we will treat one another fairly apart from the transforming power of God. The people who came and evaluated this experiment in self-government as it was beginning said the only chance that this republic had to survive was if it was maintained under the authority of a healthy and vibrant church. I mean, that's a bit of an interpretation, but it's what was, if you haven't read de Tocqueville, I would commend it, or read the Bartons. They'll give you the shorthand. The jailer is bowing before Paul and Silas. I need to be saved. Something is happening there. We need to see that. We need to see that in our schools, in our homes, in our communities, a demonstration of the power of God. Now, I don't like the fact that the pathway to that required Paul and Silas to be beaten. I don't like the unfair circumstances of it. I don't like the physical suffering of it. But if they hadn't been willing to be bold advocates for Jesus and address expressions of evil in the public square, they would have missed the opportunity for the transformation in the prison. And the jailer says, I need to be different. There's something about you. And they replied, believe in the Lord Jesus and you'll be saved. You and your household. And they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all the others in his house. And at that hour of the night, the jailer took them and washed their wounds. There's something happened to him. He didn't wash their wounds earlier. He could have cared less. He's being transformed, and immediately he and all his family were baptized. And the jailer brought them into his house, and he set a meal before them, and he was filled with joy. We read this like it's normal. This is bizarre. Prisoners beaten, locked up. There's some physical disturbance, and the jailer has this dramatic transformation. And Paul and Silas, rather than being angry and bitter and defensive and all the things that would have been so much more easily explained, respond with kindness and compassion. He was filled with joy because he'd come to believe in God, he and his whole family. Do we treat the gospel as if it's something that would bring joy to families? Or do we apologize? Do we imagine that it's somehow restraining, diminishing, that it'll make us less than, that there's a forfeiture to it? I'm very uncomfortable with the way that we have presented the gospel or imagine serving God. That we have the great ambitions for our children and they very seldom include serving God. I mean, we want them to serve God like as a hobby, as a side hustle. But we wouldn't want it to be like essential or central. It's because in our heart of hearts, we haven't imagined that the greatest expression of ourselves and our purpose for life is serving the Lord. We can do it as butchers or bakers or candlestick makers, but our great opportunity is serving the Lord. See, if we find the joy of the gospel, if we will step fully into the light, it'll become our central message. I'm intrigued. There's no name given to the jailer. We don't know who he is. We don't know the woman in the slave market. We know Lydia. But we have the nucleus of the beginning of a community of faith here. We looked at the balance of this story the other night. When the morning comes, the magistrates of the city, the rulers of the city, send a message that Paul and Silas can be released. We want them out of town. And Paul's response says, no, we're Roman citizens. You arrested us unfairly. You had us beaten unfairly. You imprisoned us unfairly. We're not leaving, but if you'd like to come visit the jail, we might go with you. They demanded the city leaders come to the prison. They didn't just turn their other cheek. And then it says when the magistrates were so frightened by the realization of what had happened that they went to the jail. And then Paul and Silas and his team went to Lydia's house to see the emerging group of believers. In my mind, the scripture doesn't say it, but in my mind's imagination at least, the city magistrates had to wait outside Lydia's house while Paul and the crew had the conversations they wanted to exchange. Well, now I want to take the minutes we have and go to the book of Philippians. This is a letter Paul wrote back to that community of believers. So I don't think we're doing great injustice to the text to imagine that Lydia is a part of the community. I think it's safe to imagine at least that the young woman that was in the slave market could have been a part of the community, that the jailer and his family were parts of that community. And given the enthusiasm and the joy and the levels of transformation that was taking place, it's not surprising to me that that community had grown. And now Paul writes a letter to them. It's somewhat unique amongst the letters of Paul. It doesn't contain any correction. He's not rebuking them. When he wrote to the Corinthians, he said, you're a bunch of immoral drunks. The church. When he wrote to the Galatians, he said, who has bewitched you? That's caused you to divert from the truth that you were running a good race, and now you've stumbled and lost all of your momentum. What's happened to you? When he writes to the Philippians, there's none of that correction in it. It's as if he's writing to friends. And it has that tone and that note of affirmation. In chapter 1 and verse 12, he said, I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. Do you know what's happened to him? He's in prison again. This time in Rome. This time the stakes are higher.
All right, that's 3 hours. Catch you on the next one.